Good evening, race fans, and welcome along to the GT3 World Sprint Series, brought to you by DC-SimRacing. My name is John Wright, aka Double O Raven. Joining me this evening once again will be Mr. Daniel Metz.
Good evening, John. How are you, man?
I'm good. Great to have Daniel here again, and we will be here for the much maligned Monza Turn 1. There are a lot more turns at Monza. That one does seem to be more of a conversation piece than most. We had an absolutely outstanding opening at the circuit of the track limits for 2 weeks ago, first time out. And it did certainly prove to be the circuit of the track limits tonight. Will it all be about Turn 1? Segundo Variante, I think, flies under the radar as far as incidents go. Someone that certainly doesn't fly under the radar, my co-commentator tonight, once described by Cliff Thorburn as the most exciting thing to come out of snooker since Steve Davis, is Mr. Daniel Metz.
Wow, that can't be right. Yeah, good evening, John. Good evening, viewers. Great to be at this second round. And as you say, the first corner here at Monza is an ACC Classic. That's we have of course there's talk of mixed conditions in terms of weather tonight. So that's also pretty interesting, I would say.
There is, and I can confirm, Daniel does have his best black dress on, full weather girl status this evening. He's going to be bringing us.
You really paint the picture there, John.
That is a picture that even I'm not going to be able to scrub out of my memory now, I don't think. The pizza after the broadcast, I'm not sure. No, it'll be fine. We do have the wrong page on display because I've been distracted by Daniel in that beautiful dress. He's now parading in front of me. Here are the standings. After round number 1, it was Prinzi, Van Thielen and Topa that took the gold podiums. We see them atop the table after week number 1. Not a McLaren in sight until you get down to 5th position. In the silvers, it was Tom Wegman, Luca Vernol and Dirk Langenbaum that took the top 3 spots, and McLaren did sneak into the top 3, second position, but a Honda atop the table. We shall talk ballast very shortly, Daniel. Top of the table, and an Audi in 3rd place. And of course there is overall standings for the series as well. The drivers are allotted points based on their finishing position in their gold or silver tiers respectively. First place in the silvers will grab you 44 points. We can see Tom Wegman there, 3rd in the overall standings. Of course it is Prinzi and Van Thielen that top the table in the overall, with 1st and 2nd in the golds. But it's good to see a win in the silvers will see you above 3rd place in the gold. So all to play for in those overall standings. Don't think the silvers are out with that competition in any way, shape or form. Everyone is going to be on the competition tonight. This is Monza. We have a lot of cars out tonight. We've got the silver qualifying just coming to an end. We've got some drivers in the as well. The ballast, Daniel, is where it was going. Lots to talk about, mate. Let's go through the ballast first, because of course the championship operating a popularity ballast, which ironically hasn't been popular with all the drivers.
I wonder why.
Honda winning would be one of the reasons there, I would say. But certainly I've again got the wrong page. But yeah, the ballast, Daniel, it is a popularity ballast based on the cars, which means some of our drivers are seeing in excess of 25 kilograms added to their cars, where some lucky drivers have had 20 kilograms removed.
Yeah, so as you say, the Honda that Tom Wegman is driving has a good 20 kilograms minus ballast, and he did really good with that on Kota, that first track, and he got some compliments from race winner Princey as well, because he did incredibly well, of course, in that, especially those first 10 laps, and then he, as he sort of predicted there, he started really feeling that effect of the, well, I would say the characteristics of the Honda. So he's sliding all over the place, but did really well to
I believe card carrying killer is the correct technical term for the Honda. Yes.
yeah. So he really noticed the effects there, and did a good job there. But as you say, the McLaren, the first car is in pit. You just showed it, of course, but the McLaren gets a hefty 30 kilograms of ballast. So that's it's still a very popular car. In fact, the most chosen car out there with 9 cars. So that's a good bit of weight there. Same for the BMW, by the way, which is has. Oh, and let's not forget your favorite car, the Ferrari, which also gets 30 kilograms of ballast. So that's. I'm guessing they will notice that, especially in tire wear.
I mean, I'd imagine they're going to notice it here at Monza when the Ferraris try to come into the pits. We can only hope they've got their strategy right on home soil. Too soon. We've got the Silvers. Even as a Ferrari fan, that made my heart bleed. The Silvers have done their qualifying. It is a split qualifying session, 15 minutes each for the two classes. The Silvers done and dusted. That is the gold drivers now out on track, and Tom Wegman, who won round 1 in that Honda despite the ballast. It's a McLaren 1-2 and a clean sweep of purple sectors for Vernol. Let's see if that trend continues in the gold. It is a rare thing to see in ACC, all 3 purple sectors, so a phenomenal lap in class here for Vernol. I mean, a phenomenal 147.0.
Yeah, wow.
I was trying to get to that bit to keep a straight face through the whole of these stand-ins, but a 47.0 in the Silvers.
Just goes to show that, I mean, we're using the new ranking system that the SimGrid uses, but if you're a silver driver there, that by no means that means that you're bad or not good at driving or not quick or however you would describe it. Still pretty amazing lap times there in the silver category, as you say.
Yep, and you can see the ballast down the side there, the plus 30 kilograms confirmed. The 2 Audis with the plus 20 kgs running well. Bressam and Langenbahn backing up last week's podium with the 5th place in qualifying. We've got 2 chicanes and Parabolica to get through for 90 minutes this evening. All things are possible from 5th to Versa, Miro and DeVos. And there's some of the gold drivers popping their times in as well. Vanyuk is one of the goals. He's just popped in there. So yeah, Miro, DeVos and Piva and Thielen, of course, not to be confused with Metz. They're both called Daniel. Entirely different. One drives a Bentley. One drives a Bentley. One holds a snooker cue. We've got Koch just behind. Staffel, I did say I wasn't going to let that go. Credi and Mazda all setting times. In fact, all the Silvers managing to get a time on the board, apart from Guimer in the Ferrari. He's doing a last to first challenge. He's obviously got full confidence in the pit crew. Not sure I would, because we do have an interesting pit window. Opens in the middle of the race. There will be a 40-minute pit window for this evening's race, as with all of the races, but this is a 90-minuter this evening. We had circuit of the track limits last week. That was 60 minutes. Bathurst next time out, that's only an hour. Disappointing stuff. 90 minutes in Silverstone, and then 60 minutes at Kyalami to round off the series. And yeah, as I say, there is a 40-minute pit window in the middle of the race, so we'll see. I'd imagine most of the drivers this one are just going to go straight 50-50. A quick 45-minute stint in these cars is absolutely nothing. Will we see anyone go for the 90 minutes on the same set of tyres?
I can't imagine.
No, I can't imagine no, I can't imagine so. It would cost way too much time at the end, so it will be at least a tyre swap for the drivers when they come into the pits. Vernol's time is looking very, 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 very good at the minute. He's still 2/10 ahead of the Golds at the minute, Daniel. They've only been out for 6 minutes. They've got 9 minutes still to go, but it is an optimum track conditions at 26 degrees. So it's not too shabby. So yeah, Vernol's time there, 47.0 in that heavily weighed down McLaren, really is standing the test of time, as Prinzi, last week's race winner, can only get within a 10th in the Porsche.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the quickest gold McLaren is David Hill in the 7th position currently. So it's not just the car that's really quick. Vernol just did an excellent lap there. So interesting to see how that goes for the next 8.5 minutes.
Indeed, yeah, can he hold on to pole position? Because last week, Daniel and I, obviously, we could do a bit of picture-in-picture, which I've just remembered. Let me put that on that correct screen. There we go, so we can see 2 angles. And I was going to get Daniel to watch the top of the Silvers, but that was the front row of the grid, because we'll have the Silver qualify in 2nd position.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's just. I mean, I really like the SimGrid classification system. I think it makes things a lot more interesting for drivers to sort of be around the ballpark of their own ability. But then again, it's just a matter of how many races you've done, and sometimes it's not at all representative of how good you really are. And well, still, the same goes. It still makes things a bit more interesting, I think. But yeah, there's absolutely no case of the silver drivers really only being at the second half of the grid. They're definitely all over the place, I would say.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, oh it definitely is. I mean, Wegman led the way heroically in the Silvers, finds himself 11th overall. Horvath in 7th, and Vernol still on pole position, and at the minute doesn't look like there is anyone making any inroads to beat that at the minute. Patrick Beesters is up on his time, but
yeah, he just invalidated.
Oh, so he did. So that one's out the window.
Lots of invalidated laps there at the moment.
A new entry. There's Gomier, who didn't set a time, of course. Good to see. Still. Oh yeah, no, they've all got times in. Sorry, all the Golds got times in at the minute as well. Yes, they do. So we've only got one driver who hasn't got a time. Peter's down in 30th position overall. Nice livery though.
So yeah, absolutely is. It looks really flashy on the McLaren. So just driving out of the pit lane for another attempt there with well, a little bit less than 6 minutes to go in the qualifying.
Yeah, Prinzi will be getting himself a hurry on now. 0.08 of a second. Ooh, as the Lambo of Van Thielen just takes a stage exit centre there. Right through the middle of the second. And I'll tell you, we'll talk about Monza. Obviously, this is the cathedral of speed, but 1922, contrary to popular belief, decades before I was born. We'll have less of the old jokes. But certainly for me, Daniel, we do know Monza turn 1. It does get a bit of a hard time. It is a tough corner. In my opinion, it's not as difficult as Suzuka with a full grid. But I've often found that the real problem at Monza is the second chicane we see Prinzi come through, because the drivers that make it through the first chicane, they breathe a massive sigh of relief. And as they're breathing that sigh of relief, they're suddenly in the braking zone for the second chicane. I don't know what your personal experience is, but for me, some of the biggest crashes I've seen have been at the second chicane, and they've seen a couple of crackers, and people come together, a couple of door bangings in the first chicane, you get to the second chicane and just all hell breaks loose. I don't know what your racing experience here is of the two chicanes. Which one do you think's worse?
Yeah, well, I think you could be right, but to be honest, my latest race on Monza, I got in trouble in the first of the Lesmos, where someone, two guys hit each other, and someone decided to start moving while on the racing line, so that makes things a bit difficult to predict, of course. But I think you could be right. The thing with the first corner is that, I mean, that first time everyone just has to get it right. Just don't be too eager to try to overtake the entire field. Because yeah, that might work in your dreams, but not in actuality. So please don't try that. But yeah, I think you could be very correct there. If you go through that first chicane and get that sigh of relief, as you say, and then put your guard down for that second chicane, that's when bad things start to happen.
Yes, indeed they do. It is. It's an incredible track. It is an incredible track. Oh, there we go. Wow, look at that. Gavone has beat the Vernol's time, so we've got a silver in second, 23 hundredths of a second. He's done a 147.0. Vernol did the 147.080. Gavone has done a 47.057. Prinzi now a whole tenth off the pace at the top.
Yeah, that's pretty close. Pretty close.
Really is close. Very,
and it's interesting that even though the difference in ballast is so incredibly huge, you see that the Audi has 20 kilograms, the McLaren has 30 kilograms. I mean, these cars are still topping the times. So yeah, I think the Bentley has -10 and the Honda, of course, is -20. And let's see, the Bentley, I think that's is that Daniel Thiele who's driving around in that thing? Yeah, so the silver car is currently 27th, of course, already having qualified. And let's look at the Honda. Of course, that will be Tom. Where did Wegman? Yes, the 11th. Yeah, 11. So yeah, that's and as we predicted last race, there's going to be huge differences in each and every track with the different characteristics. Of course, this track, well, completely different to anything we have on the calendar for this one. But yeah, I mean, it's a huge difference compared to Kota, where the Honda was actually, well, at least for those first 10 laps, was pretty much in its element. Not so much on this track.
Yeah, no,
definitely. Oh, and we see Van Thiele just taking pole there. So 146.992. Wow.
The top 5 are within 2/10 of one another.
That's amazing.
It's not too bad. It's not too bad at all. Yeah, so 2/10 separating the top 5. Best Pilotov there in 5th position. Ethan Faulkner for Ragioli Racing, 3.5 tenths down. He's only half a tenth up on Hill there. There is Faulkner in the background in the Ragioli Lamborghini. Van Thielen absolutely a ragdoll in that Lamborghini, trying to get every single tenth, hundredth, a thousandth that he can to try and separate himself up at the front. Vernol currently still hanging on to position in the front 2 rows of the grid for the start. 20 seconds left of qualifying. Not many green deltas out there. Best Pilotov in the Mercedes though is looking a bit quick. I'm not even going to attempt that Christian name, unfortunately. But yeah, if you get, oh no, he's just lost some time. David Hill's up and then he's down and then he's up and then he's down. It's all getting very close. Gavone's done. Best Pilotov is still out. So is Prinzi in the Porsche. He's still got a fair bit of his lap to go. Can he find time? Van Thielen is going to nervously await in the pits for these drivers to finish their laps.
Yeah, everything is done, as you say. Interesting to see that the first 5 cars are of different makes. So do with that what you will. But it seems to me that Ballast is doing its thing. So interesting to see there.
Yeah, I would say it definitely is doing its thing. Prinsey had a lot of time on the way to Parabolica there. I think he was a bit later on the brakes than he should have been. He was 0.3 of a second up there. He was about to obliterate the pole time. But no, he was just a bit too late on the brakes, carried a bit too much speed in. That's why the Delta went so green. Does David Hill have any surprises in the closing stages? He's just left the Scar Ace, heading towards Parabolica now, so 1 corner to go. One of the easiest corners to get at track limits, in my useless opinion. I certainly struggle around here, even with that curbing being all the way out there on that yellow curb, all the way out there on the left hand side. David Hill doesn't look like there's going to be any improvement on his time. It looks like we have our results.
Jochen Cambrai jumps to 22nd position from 24th. So Jochen Cambrai, by the way, my teammate for the Race Voices, which we're also going to plug, of course, later on in the broadcast.
Yes, indeed we are. Which one is it? That one. Hey, the legendary Race for Wishes. Hurrah! We'll pop that on the screen just now anyway. So yeah, we saw the silver qualifying. There is the gold qualifying, and as I said, it was rare to see all 3 purple sectors going the way of one driver. Look at this, Bespilatov in 5th, Sector 3, Hill, quickest driver in Sector 2, and Topa in 10th overall, 8th in the gold, is the quickest driver in Sector 1. 2 Mercedes picking up purple sectors, 1 McLaren. That does bode well for the race. This is going to be an absolute cracker. Van Thielen did take pole position with a 146.992. A gargantuan 6500s ahead of Gavone in the Audi. Then it was Vernol in the silvers, within a 10th of a second. He'll start 3rd overall, 1st in the silvers. He's got 5 gold drivers separating him from his next silver competitor. And Wegman, last week's winner in the silvers, finds himself in 11th position overall, just outside the top 10. And he's got Brassam and Langenbaum hot on his heels. Fedotov, 14th. Overall, Sam was between the silvers, much like Ivanyuk and Gibson, 16th and 17th overall. 3 drivers didn't get themselves time set. We've got 1 not in the race. Gomier and Miller. I'm not sure if Miller's still in the race. He wasn't at the end of silver qualifying, so we'll see if he is on the grid. But yeah, interesting times, Daniel. We've still got 6 silver drivers in the top 15 ready to mix it up. But once again, we see the top driver in the silvers very comfortably mixing it at the top of the grid and giving himself a good 5-6 cars of gold drivers between themselves and the next silver driver.
Yeah, you could do a good business here tonight for the championship, as you say, for the silver championship. We're going to have 36 cars going for that first corner in just a few minutes. So yeah, let's see what happens there. I mean, yeah, of course, qualifying is always important, but I think it's going to be great to at least have or get the car into that first corner and to make sure you're no longer a target for anyone that brakes just a bit too late just behind you. So yeah, but it's going to be a nice feeling, I think. But yes. Yeah, then again, as you say, that second chicane is still not the danger isn't completely going away, of course. But
yeah, most definitely not. It will be an ever-present, clear and present danger. Great movie. This is DC-SimRacing's GT3 World Sprint Series, Circuit of the Americas, Monza this evening, then Bathurst, Silverstone, and Kyalami. And as Daniel mentioned as well, we've got the legendary Race for Wishes as well, Daniel. December the 2nd and 3rd sign-ups on SimGrid.
Yes. Yeah, we're... I think we have currently 15 teams, so still have a way to go there. But yeah, I'm seeing the slow influx of new teams. People are enthusiastic, asking me, what a bit more details about the event. We of course have a few things that we still need to iron out, but yeah, we definitely are going for a system where it's just we're giving you incentives to donate, because this is all about charity. So we're looking at giving out ballast, for instance, for maybe an hour, or who knows. And of course, everything is for sale, as you do in a charity event. So anything that raises money is a good thing. So 2nd and 3rd December, I'll be driving myself. Hopefully, so I'm planning. So that's really looking forward to that, and I think it's going to be fun. And we have a pretty good commentator and a pretty good commentator team lined up as well. So really, some Scottish bloke. He's pretty good.
Oh no, that's the fuck. No, you don't want that. No one will understand it, when he'll just find an excuse to say words to begin with.
We'll have live subtitles. We'll.
Yeah, good luck with that.
We'll just experiment with that a bit.
Oh yeah, I would love to see one of those machines try and keep up with me. Yeah. Yeah, that would be fun. Who's going to keep up at the front though? 90 minutes is the race this evening. It was 60 minutes at track Limitville last week. It's 90 minutes at turn 1 this evening. The 40-minute pit window in the middle of the race. We will see the tyres change. And we'll see the drivers spend a bit more time in the pits than they did last time out 2 weeks ago. But the silvers, again, mixing it up. 6 of them in the top 15. So it's going to be interesting to see how they integrate, and how the golds manage to get past them as well. This is going to be an absolute cracker. And the pit window as well really is going to throw the cat amongst the pigeons when the car's coming out. Gomir not only didn't set a time, he started from the pits.
Ah, okay. That's interesting. By the way, John, there was talk of mixed conditions. So far it looks pretty good.
I was about to come with that. I mean, there is cloud-ish covering the sun slightly, but it does look like, and in 30 degrees as well over the 90 minutes, we'd have to see quite the deterioration. But we can, everyone out in your back gardens doing rain dances, Daniel?
Let's hope so. I mean, we've seen some pretty exciting races with mixed conditions, of course. I remember some Zandvoort, yes, exactly. That was pretty. Yeah, check it out.
Absolutely, get onto YouTube, check it out, hit subscribe on DC-SimRacing, and go back and watch the old races, the road to the grand finals. What an event that was, Zandvoort. Oosh, those were conditions that really put the drivers through their paces. Fairly gave the commentators a workout as well. Trying to keep up with it all, but yeah, it was good fun race. So make sure you go back and watch that. Just okay, there we go. Sorry, I'm getting a little bit of screen lag here, but it's apparently not coming through on the stream, so we're all good in the hood. The drivers just finishing their warm-up laps, and then it will be the Cathedral of Speed. Will be the battleground. There is the Bentley tucked in there. Daniel Thielen, 9th at the moment in the silvers, 27th overall. So yeah, the gold drivers. That's what I was looking at as well. It's Jonas Windy. That's why we're on there. He is the last gold driver that qualified, 25th position. Oh, they've already started. They're up at the front and they are away. It's foot down. It's flat out, and it's Van Thielen. who's going to have some company into turn 1. What a start there from Vernol, and Prinzi is going to go straight up into 3rd position. He's already got past Vernol. This is going to be a close one. There's 4 wide in the background as well. Oh, we've got a McLaren taking the run off road. We've got a McLaren going for 3rd position, or hanging on to 3rd position as Prinzi couldn't get the run on him. Best Pilotov. There's the McLaren rejoining. That is Horvath. Who's actually has gained the position but not in class. He's got himself ahead of David Hill down in the back of the field. It did look like they all made it through very cleanly indeed. We've still got 4 wide here as Patrick Bisters tears into the 2nd chicane. A lot of cars in the background and in the foreground though. And he's just given the BMW a bump, and there we go, the 2nd chicane. Oh, we've got a few cars taking a void in action there. That is going to be quite the clear up for the stewards with the brushes to get the sand off the track, but it is Bisters who's up to 17th position, as we see down at the back. A few cars, DeVos struggling to keep on track. Into the Degnas, and an Ann is not the way to do this, as Daniel Thielen has made up quite a few places there. With everything that's going on, I'm struggling to keep up here. Van Thielen, clean pair of heels to the rest of the field. Gavone in 2nd. Vernol hanging on firmly to 2nd. Only hanging on firmly. He's going to give Gavone some thought going into turn number 1. Look at Prinzi, who was looking good to take 3rd overall at the start of the race. Now finds himself with a bit of a gap back as Ethan Faulkner has got himself ahead of Best Pilotov. The Lamborghini outrunning the Mercedes on lap number 1. Horvath, who we saw run through the slip road, he is up to 7th ahead of David Hilton and Tulpa, who took a purple sector as a flying start as well for Team Ballas. He's in 9th, and it's the 2 Audis of Lindvar and Brosalme. We've got a stationary BMW there on Daniel's screen. That's Bisters. He's returned. He's back in the pits. Gavone, he's gone full defensive mode there. Vernol really did give him pause for thought into turn number 1. Couldn't convert the move, and all that's done is give Van Thielen the run. Prinzi's taking the opening lap, fastest lap, and the Mercedes in the background there of Best Pilotov. He's not only lost the position to Faulkner, he could potentially be losing one here to Horvath, with David Hill going to stick his oar into this one as well as he coming in the 2nd chicane. And once again we see a Team Ballas car lurking in the background. We saw this at Kota, and we saw how well it ended for the Team Ballas car, and once again they're in the perfect position to strike. They're the 4th car in this train, although there is a 5th car there with Topa and Lindvar lurking himself in that Audi. Van Thielen 1.7 seconds ahead of the battling Gavone and Vernol. They themselves have got 1.5 seconds ahead of Prinzi, so Prinzi very much the cork in the bottle at the minute, with Ethan Faulkner looking good in the slipstream on the way into Ascari. Not quite close enough there. Action right through the field, Daniel. Vernol, how did you manage to keep track of the silvers there? That was an interesting 2nd chicane, unfortunately, as predicted. Yep. But yeah, what were you watching? Oh, there's another car going.
Nice. What I was watching was basically how far people were jumping up through the field, or let's not say that some people were falling down in the field. Currently we have Enzo Guma, who managed to get on the way in the end, because he started from the pit. Martens and Bijsters. Bijsters is still in the pit actually. So they were definitely involved in that in those first 2 chicanes, because the first chicane, well, it pretty much went as you predicted. First chicane, there definitely were a few cars that went wide, but most people were able to avoid each other. But it was the 2nd chicane where things completely went, pear-shaped.
Is that whatever it is, don't say it.
It isn't too bad, is it? Jochen Cambrai losing 8 positions, Peters losing 8 positions. So, and I see a yellow flag there for Frits Entjes. I think he just had a little moment there. Some guys who made some big jumps is Piva and Thiele. 9 positions, so they definitely made the best of that chaos in the first lap. So Thiele now 18th in the Bentley.
Now Ethan Faulkner. Oh wow, what a move into the first turn there. We've missed that completely. Ethan Faulkner, I don't know if Princey had a mistake on the way out of Parabolica, but Ethan Faulkner up to 4th position. So he's got himself ahead of Princey as well. He got ahead of Bespilotov, who was coming under pressure from Horvath. That's Princey. One time looking like he was going for 3rd. It did look like the Lambo was catching up, and he's caught up very convincingly. The Porsche hanging right on in the back of him. You can see Princey not letting this one go in the slightest as they head into the Lesmos. But that is Ethan Faulkner got himself up to 4th overall, and that is of course a podium position in the goals, with Vernol still up in overall 3rd, 1st place in class. He's got Gavone still ahead of him. Van Thielen is absolutely flying up at the front. We've got a backmarker BMW there, one of the cars that came into the early pits. So we've already got blue flag traffic for some of the drivers to deal with, as Gavone still dealing with Vernol. Applying all that pressure. It is very close in a couple of places down the pack. David Hill still involved in battles at the minute, defending now from Topa. Topa not so much lurking, has more gone full offensive then. Lietvaar and Wegman not too far behind. Wegman still hanging on to 11th position, but does which is 3rd place of course, still in the silvers. Horvath still ahead. Horvath did make up the position on Hill, not on Wegman at the start. Gibson, we saw Brusalmi having a couple of interesting corners so far, and there is another one. The exit to the Lesmos makes that an interesting run into Ascari along the back straight. Brusalmi right out on the outside. He's avoided the penalty. He gets Gibson that's sandwiched between the two Audis with Langenbaum. Finished on the podium last week for the Silvers. Is he going to get a move through Ascari? No, he's not. He's going to fall into line. And it's Vedetov who's lurking also. A lot of lurking going on, Daniel. A lot of lurking going on this evening.
A whole lot of lurking going on,
yeah. A whole lot of lurking, yeah. The driver's very close, and in fact, Vedetov...
Wegman has had a situation there. I think he's had a... Yeah, he's falling back pretty far, isn't he? Yeah, he...
sorry, who has?
Tom Wegman. Gonna do a 30-second replay, because I think... he loses it there, coming out of... Ooh, that's a lot of curb he took there. And he loses it coming out of Ascari. So, yeah, he's now in 25th position, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, that's from riches to rags, I would say, compared to last week.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Monza, we talk about turn 1 and 2, every one of these corners is lethal. Ascari, if you hit any of those curves the wrong way, you are in all kinds of problems. At the minute, the problems are mostly Brusalmi's. He's got Gibson ahead of him now, so Gibson did get that overtake secured while we were watching the replay. So he is now ahead of Brusalmi. Brusalmi being thrown to the wolves. As Vedetov has got himself ahead of Langenbaum as well, so a double overtake in that little pack. Just further down the field, Eduardo Piva in the Porsche. He's got DeVos and Viken. Viken, I believe, is a new entry this week, is he, Daniel? I think he is.
I think so. We have
yes,
a couple of new ones.
Oh, a couple of drivers that weren't available race 1. Sorry, yes, of course.
Yeah.
That's where the name rings a bell from. I was thinking, has he raced before? But no, he was on last week's entry list. Wasn't able to race last week. And he was, and oh, there we go. How's that for timing? We're actually on board with DeVos, or just watching DeVos. He's in shot there. There he is there, and can confirm that is a stop-go 10-second penalty he's been given. And it did look like he was given a 10-second penalty as well there, Daniel. That is, so I think we may have found the that was clumsy. Very clumsy there between Windy and DeVos. Windy giving him a wide berth after that one. But yeah, Daniel, that's it looks like the contact in the second chicane. It looks like Sjord DeVos may have been the culprit. A stop-go 10-second penalty. That is a painful one this early in the race.
Yeah, I'm looking at the race control. Incident between cars number 2, number 27 and number 59 on lap 1. Stop and go for car number 2 for causing collision. number 2 rear ends number 27, causing a major collision. So, yeah, that was what was going on there in that second chicane. So, unfortunate, but yeah, the wheels of justice grind slowly.
That's not bad. Come on.
Somewhere in the ballpark.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of the English language.
Indeed. But yeah, no, yeah, we'll give the steer some credit there, because that was a big one to look through. Like, that looked like quite. Well, maybe you can catch that on the highlights at the end, I would imagine. Piva as well. He has been adjudged to have got. Oh, look at the Honda in the background there. That was Wegman. He is really struggling. Let's just have another quick look at that. As you can see, exiting the Lesmos there. Let's watch this one from Helicam. Looks like the Honda, very much doing Honda things. Already down to 23rd position. I don't know why that's done that. Let's go back to that, please. Thank you. And that's even Wegman. What is going on? Technology is taking over. I give up. So we've that's exactly what that was, Daniel. That was a Honda doing Honda things. Very little traction control below speed, and we just mentioned there, every curb here can be a killer. And Wegman, absolute powerhouse in the Honda Circuit of the Americas, and it's already looking like a bit of damage limitation for the silver leader at the minute here.
Yeah, and I would say again that the ballast is doing its thing in making as Thiele gets hit there by Faken, but Faken does wait for him, so that's the gentleman thing to do. So as both continue on their way. But yeah, I see. I'm also looking at the chat, and Stein van Onakker says too much ballast for the Ferrari. Well, Stein, of course, we're
on board with the replay, Daniel. 2 seconds. We've just looking for Noel. Silver leader is no longer the silver leader. He's in 11th position overall. Ethan Faulkner is not only on the podium, he's in second, and it is turn number 1. Oh, double quadruple.
Oh no!
Yeah, that's a big one. And then a whole lot of cars coming through. That was the Team Ballast Mercedes making its way through. Here comes another Lamborghini. Look at Vernol. Riches to rags, it would appear. A bit of a Greek comedy there. That's him now down to 11th position. Not only losing the lead, and not only losing his position on the podium overall, he's lost the lead in the silver, as Tobias Horvath has been gifted the lead. Well, no, my apologies, Tobias. He's not been gifted anything. He's managed to keep the car between the mayo and the mustard for the opening 14 minutes so far. He's fended off attacks from cars behind. He's managed to get an overtake himself despite missing the turn 1 braking zone. And he finds himself in 4th place overall. Ethan Faulkner, another driver, get the head down, get the laps in, 2 overtakes, and he finds himself up in a 2nd position. Luca Prinzi threatened to take 3rd place on the opening exchanges. He's in 3rd place, and yeah, Horvath, as I say, in 4th. Bespilatov now in 5th place overall. David Hill in 5th in the golds so far. And I am on Gavone. There he is there. Gavone ending up in 7th in the golds, 8th overall after that contact. So that is, we know that Vernol's got pace, but that is going to be a bit of an uphill battle for Vernol after a contact in turn number 1. Good luck with that one, stewards.
Yeah, they definitely have their work cut out for them tonight. So we're also looking. Yeah, I was saying something about ballast to Stein, of course. It's not so much. We didn't copy any BOP for this one. It's popularity ballast. So there's no such thing as too much ballast. It's yeah. This is the way it turned out. The Ferrari was very popular and thus got a lot of ballast, 30 kilograms to be exact. So yeah, that. Might be people might think that's too much, but it is what it is. It's
also
car.
Well within real life parameters.
Yeah.
I think in real IRL the maximum the ballast they can apply to a car is 40 kilograms, I believe. I think, yeah.
That's correct.
Luke Viken there.
Ooh.
Just caught my eye. Did you see the back of that McLaren? Just give it a bit of a shimmy shake there out with Parabolica. Can't do that too often around the track, especially at 30-degree track temperature. That's right on the line of, tracks. Your tyres getting a bit interesting, as we can see Daniel Phelan in the BMW making a... Oh, nice!
Faking. That's another hit there, this time on Windy, I think it was.
Jonas Windy again. He has been in the wrong place at the wrong time a couple of times now, has Windy, unfortunately. Let's watch this one from the old Forbidden Chase cam. There is Viek behind. Oh, he comes from a long way back. Long way back. He's... Oh. Again, we'll let the stewards have a look at that one and see what they say. But Viken certainly made contact. Goemir, not taking part in this one. DeVos out, Beasters out, and Traversa all out of the race early doors. Van Thielen, he might as well be out of the race. Can we just, I think, pretty sure Van Thielen's going to come into the pits, have himself a nice cup of tea and declare a race victory. We're only 9 laps in, he's already 8 seconds ahead. The wheels of justice are turning as well, which the viewers at home can't see because of the picture-in-picture camera, but we will bring you updates on what has been bestowed upon the drivers. And Nicola Mazza has been given a drive-through penalty, and Jochen Cambra, as Daniel mentioned in the opening exchanges, was involved in a couple of contacts. His car does look like it's gone 4 hours at Bathurst, if we're being honest. The front not well attached, as you can see. Aerodynamically compromised, I believe, is the politically correct term when the bonnet and the bumper don't meet. But yeah, Daniel, we've got Mazza and Cambra both picking up drive-through penalties.
Yeah, so much to do for the stewards so far in this race. Of course, as I said at the beginning of the race, 36 drivers we had at the start, so it was always going to be hectic. But just a lot of penalties going left and right here.
Yeah, racing is racing, like you said. I mean, I've never... Oh, that was a big contact. What happened? Why did the camera move? Did he disconnect? Sorry, let me grab that again. It was Brisalmi. He's been...
Oh, I'm looking at Gewern, who has a hit on Lanevaart, I think. Gewern looking at doing an overtake there, and I see Gewern is now going back to the pit. So let me see if I can get a quick replay on that.
Oh, goodness me, that is so unfortunate. He lost the back of the car on the way into Lesmos. The McLaren had absolutely nothing the McLaren could do there. Yeah, if I had a bet, if I had been on board with that, we could have checked. I guarantee the McLaren was on the brakes and trying to take avoiding action there. No avoiding action could have been taken, and again, in the Parabolica, we're seeing an extremely aerodynamically compromised car, and the worst part of it is for Brisalmi, the pit window is not open yet, so if he does come in for repairs, he's going to need to come in again to take his mandatory stop as well. We're only 19 minutes into this one. We've still got 61 to go. Sorry, 71 to go. My maths escaping me there for a minute. As you say, he's in the pits. It does look like he is done with this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, when you RTG, that is that chucks you, gives you an extra 2 minutes. Van Thielen, he's almost going to get a free pit stop at this rate. And Vernol, again, the drivers do love to make fools of the commentators. I said it was going to be pretty difficult for him to make his way back towards the top end of the grid. He's already made up 3 positions between overtakes and other drivers down on their luck. More penalties coming in into Ascari though. Let's see if he can get the move done on Topa. He pulls out the slipstream, pulls right back in again. They both safely make it through Ascari and onto the back straight towards Parabolica, with a Vanyuk up a few positions as well. He's now sitting in 9th place, 7th in the goal, so good points on their way to him as well. We've got some more penalties have been handed out.
Yeah, I see that's for Dijkhuizen, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, yes, for Dijkhuizen for, driving into 59, which I think is, if I'm not mistaken, that's
Martin.
Yeah, so...
yeah, that would be Mark Martins in the M&M Racing team. One of the goal drivers right down at the back of the pack. So yeah, he was in the pits early as well. So I think there may have been a bit of damage, and in fact he is a lap down. As you can see, he is just behind the battle that we were just watching between Vernol and Topa. Topa's still got the upper hand at the minute. Vanuk still looking to do anything that he can, and Langenbaum has got himself up a couple of positions as well then, thanks to everything going on ahead, and there's even more going on ahead, as you can see. This one. Oh, that looked like someone going a bit wide there, was it?
Yeah, Leenvaar just got the corner just a bit. He was a bit too late there, but he was also battling it out with Fedotov for a P10. So, but he got the position in the end. So, but it was Leenvaar who went off track there just for a second. Just, yeah, it's incredibly close there between basically, yeah, the top 10. Well, basically the little train that we're looking at. So a P10 to a P14, all the way to Langenbaum.
Yeah, it's very close here. Yeah, Vanuk Vernol still close to Topa. Topa still the cork in that ball. Oh, speeding in the pit lane after serving a drive through penalty. It doesn't really get much worse than that. We did see this actually, Daniel. We saw this last time out. It wasn't last week, it was 2 weeks ago. We saw this last time out at Circuit of the Americas. There was a driver who, I can't remember now, picked up 2 drive-through penalties, and on one of them, they were for track limits. On one of them, got a stop go 32nd for speeding in the pit lane. It really, yeah, it's bad to work. And he needs to come into the pits again. He needs to drive a damaged car until the pit window opens. Mark Dijkhuizen not having a great race would be the summation of where I was going with that one, Daniel.
Yeah, I think your assessment is pretty much correct there. Yeah, I'm looking up who it was that you're talking about. I think that wasn't that Faulkner that had that. I think he did a stop and go and then
yes,
or a drive through, and then he had to yeah, sort of had a problem with the pit limiter, I think it was.
Ah, okay. Yes, we got the drive-through for track limits, and then yeah, got the stop go. So far, mission complete for Faulkner though. He is still losing time to Van Thielen. It's 2 Lambos that we see up at the front of the field. 9 seconds though is the gap between them. Sorry, I'm slightly distracted by something that popped through there up on my screen. That's still working okay. Princey is starting to close in again on Faulkner. He's certainly, well, when I say close in again, he's certainly not been too far out of touch since Faulkner got the overtake done. And he is getting that little bit closer at this stage as well. Bespilatov looking to try and get himself a bit closer to that battle for third in class if he can. He's got Horvath ahead of him, leading the Silvers. Vernol did get the move done on Topa, and I believe Mark Gibson has just been overtaken by Fedotov. Michael Jeffrey Koch in the BMW has got Langenbaum firmly in his sights at turn number 1. Not too much defence there from Langenbaum. Quite unsurprisingly, the Audi's had a rough time of it, so I imagine he's not got the car running at its optimum given the contact that we saw him make with the wall. Plus, I think we can guesstimate that those back tyres are fairly well compromised already, given the way he lost it on the way into or on the way out of Lesmo number 1. Kind of was. It was on the exit. The back of the car just seemed to lift and over-rotate on him, and that was it. McLaren unwittingly gave him an extra tap, nose first into the barrier, and he finds himself now dropping out of contention. There is the pit window open.
It's interesting to think, John. It's a good 20 minutes, of course. It's exactly 20 minutes to the exact half point of the race. But with all the hectics of the first, is that a word, hectics? Probably not.
Hectic.
Yeah, the hectic things going on in the first part of the race, it could be worthwhile to go in a bit quicker, get all those tires that might have turned around in the wrong way, changed, and hopefully or hope for a clean race. For the rest of the hour. Could be for some people. I would imagine that that could be a thing they consider.
Indeed. Well, what I was going to say there, actually, I'm looking at the weather, and we now no longer have the sun icon.
Ooh.
We have a double cloud icon.
Ooh.
So, would you like to jump into your little black dress and check the weather for us? That would be brilliant. Because I'm now wondering, just as you were saying, some of the drivers might be wanting to come in and get those worn tyres from the early exchanges taken off. If the drivers know that we're in for changeable conditions, and at DC-SimRacing we do get changeable weather conditions, we could have some of the drivers with the weather eye. Yeah, sorry. Confirm once again, I am a dad. I am allowed to crack terrible dad jokes. I don't even apologise. But yeah, some of the drivers could have a weather eye on the weather report, do we think, Daniel? Because those two clouds we're only a quarter away into the race. So yeah, could we see the DC rain clouds open up once again, maybe?
Yeah, who knows? It would be great. Having said that, Bersamla is the first one to come in during the pit window, so he's in for his official pit stop there. So he's not too concerned about any weather coming this way.
Yeah, given the contact he made with the wall, that's not a massive surprise, I would say. Yeah,
exactly. He probably wants to take the risk of rain falling at some later point. Because it's. And whatever he does is going to cost way too much time to just continue with all the damage. So.
Indeed, yeah, get it fixed, get it back out on track. We've got another penalty being handed out. It's Ivaniuk, 15 seconds. He's been given, so he'll serve that, of course, when he comes in to the pits. The rest of the penalties, Piva still has 15 seconds outstanding. Again, he'll serve that when he comes in to the pits. And Wegman, last week's silver winner, and finds himself 22nd position overall, so he has made up another couple of positions, but again it is looking very much like damage limitation. Drive through for speeding in the pit lane. Go Mir.
Classic.
Didn't make it for qualifying, didn't make the start of the race, and he sped in the pit lane.
I would say that Gumar is basically having a test session, but still won't be happy with that drive-through, of course. But he's. I think he's just making miles tonight.
It definitely looks that way. Yeah, he's only done 3 laps so far.
But,
12 down on the leaders. I don't know if Van Dielen's on lap 16 actually. What am I talking about? He's just clocked himself a nice fastest lap to boot as well. Oh no! Sorry,
no! What's going on there?
That is a stationary Mercedes.
Dijkhuis is involved. He's on the racing line as well, pretty much on the racing line. So doesn't want to start moving now as he does. So he might just want to get that car off the track.
Yeah, so you had a bit of issue in Ascari. There was a Ferrari that went past him coming into Parabolica. The car all looked fine. This is the middle section of Parabolica. Here is the exit, well within the track limits there. Okay, so
I'm looking at the replay of Mazza, who's going off track.
Yep, and we're on board, and he's bounced off the wall. Oh,
yeah, so couldn't avoid it there.
so, that was so close. Full
Yeah.
speed on the Ferrari. Wow. Clean up on aisle 3 just before turn 1, please. Thank you very much. Oh, and there goes the Ragioli Racing Lamborghini at full tilt as well. So, Dijkhuizen, the unwitting passenger in that little roller coaster ride of emotion there on the start-finish straight, was Mazza. Now that seemed to be, there was no one near him at the time. Did he just I'm assuming Daniel, I couldn't see it from the angle I was at, 2 wheels on the left-hand wheels on the grass as he touched the brakes going into turn 1 potentially?
Well, I think he was still in the middle of, I'm sure that he was still in the middle of the straight. So whether he got distracted, maybe looking at his phone or whatever, but or maybe he had a steering issue with the straight.
A pedal or some kind of technical issue.
So
we do all know how reliable USB connection steering wheels and things are. 100%.
Absolutely.
Never ever had a problem with my pedal spiking going into a corner, and yeah, steering wheel just suddenly deciding that it's 3 o'clock.
Oh yeah, and I mean another thing, I don't know if he uses VR, but I do, and yeah, sometimes it just decides that we can wait for a few seconds before processing the images, so just hang there in there, and suddenly you're in the middle of the corner, and yeah, good luck with that. So who knows what happens? Could definitely have been technical gremlins there.
Yeah, definitely a strange one though. It's cost a couple of drivers some positions. Jochen Cambra comes in to serve his mandatory pit stop, get that damage repaired. A nice pristine Aston Martin to take back out on track for the second half of the race, which is going to be his longest half. 2/3 he's still got left to do. Viken already out on the pits. There is Wegman, who's stayed out. He'll gain a couple of positions at the moment, but then of course he'll need to come in to the pits as well. So none of the front runners at the minute taking their pit stops, and I can't say I'm surprised. A drive through by race control for car 21, and we've got a stop go 30-second for car 21.
Let's see, 21.
That's Pushatka.
Okay. I don't see any incident decisions from race control so far. Let's keep an eye on that.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that, yeah, but certainly I can confirm the front of that McLaren is definitely in contact. I remember seeing it in the background of an incident. I didn't think I'd seen it make contact with anyone, but race control, stop go, 30-second penalty for Lucas Pusatka in the silvers. That's going to drop him down massively down the order as well. He's going to have a few drivers there keeping him company, that's for sure. No one keeping Van Thielen company, that is for sure. 10.7 seconds to the good he is, so it's about half a second a lap he's making on the rest of the field. Horvath almost catching a back marker unawares there into the second chicane. They both survived. Hill looking to close back in. Vernot back up to 7th overall, so Horvath does need to make sure he keeps the next 56 hours as quick and clean and consistent as possible. Ethan Faulkner is in full defend mode at the minute. He's got Prinzi in the Porsche all over that rear spoiler. They've still got 30 minutes of the pit window to do battle should they see fit. We do still have double clouds as well. Let's go the rain to make it a phenomenal. I mean, this is the thing. The pit window closes in 30 minutes. There'll be 25 minutes of the race left. If it starts racing with 20 minutes to go, it's a whole different kettle of fish. It's going to be...
and it's going to be interesting to see what choices they make, as we see that car 21 is now coming in for that penalty as well.
Yeah, so, Wegman coming in for his pit stop as well. As I say, last week's silver leader. That's him coming in, so we'll see what he can do when he gets back out. That was Faulkner and Prinzi still battling over the final 2 podium positions. Vernol in second. Oh, and there's someone stationary on the start-finish straight. Oh, this car, that's Pusatska just coming out the pits.
It's Monza on their way again. Let's see. Someone really... Well, doesn't seem to be yellow flags out there. I'm just looking at the penalties for 21, so that's still from lap 1. And is that also? Yeah, that's lap 1. So there was contact with car 77 and 59. Both, yeah, car 21 rear-ended those cars. So, oh, that's one avoidable contact and an unsafe rejoin even. Yeah, that's the reason for a stop and go 30 and a drive-through as well. So, it's
yeah, sorry,
quite the penalties.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, okay, so there was another car that's just come out the pits. There was a couple of so there was a couple of cars there slowing Pusatska up. It wasn't Pusatska that was stationary there. It was another car, which I can't quite put my finger on at the minute. 3 white cars all right on top of one another. Van Thielen, again, he's majestically leading this one. Koch all over the back of Gibson. This one isn't for position in class, just more for the ego. But Gibson is ahead at the minute. Koch looking to get himself ahead of the gold driver. He's got 3rd place at the moment in the silvers, but he's still got that pit stop to take. Wegman back out of the pits. Gavone is still in the pits, in fact. But Wegman back at the pits, only back down 2 positions. He does have a couple of cars ahead of him that are battling for position, that are a lap up, but they will be coming into the pits to free him up. That's 18th place Stamelier and Windy. Windy has been on the receiving end of a couple of contacts as well, been in the wrong place at the wrong time on a couple of occasions, and it's seen him dropping down the order ever so slightly, and he's entrenched in another battle. Miro from the silvers comes into the pits as well. Pusatska comes in to serve that stop go 32nd, and then he'll have to come straight back in pretty soon. Well, 27 minutes, so not straight back in, but he will be back in soon to get himself his mandatory pit stop out of the way. We'll stay at the moment on board with this battle for the final 2 podium positions. And again, it raises that old question, Daniel: is it better to be the hunter or the hunted? Do you blink and come into the pits first? Do we see the drivers pretending? I was going to say, is that Faulkner faking his way into the pit stop to see if Princey replies? I mean, this is it's a game of cat and mouse between these two. I would much rather be the driver doing the chasing, I think. The pressure of being the lead driver a bit much, but yeah, which position would you rather be in, and what do you think is the best pit stop strategy for both of these drivers at the minute?
Well, I would definitely be, I would prefer to be in the chasing position for the exact reasons that you state. But having said that, I think Faulkner is probably not in our league. Probably a bit, few leagues above that.
just a little bit. I mean,
so, but still, he will definitely feel the pressure. So, yeah, that's and as for the strategy, well, I'm not sure. I mean, we're looking at the cloud situation, and it's still pretty much the same. So, yeah, as you said before the start of the race, just a 50-50 division would make sense. But yeah, there's that thing of potential, or at least the pre-race talk of mixed conditions, and so we definitely have that in the forecast. I would be very careful to jump in too quickly. It's just I would just bide my time, and as long as you can keep those tires under control, which I suspect Faulkner and Princey will be pretty good at as well. Yeah, I would see no reason to have any hurry in that with the pit stop decision.
Yeah, we can definitely see the two of them battle out, just as we're seeing from these two. Michael Jeffrey Koch and Mark Gibson. Oh, the BMW was thinking about. Oh, and there we go. And the thing is, Daniel, they don't even waste any time when they make a fool of us, do they? Some of them really like to do it straight away. They just, oh, this is what the commentators predicted. Well, I'm going to do the opposite. And so is the broadcast deal.
Princey coming in, by the way, or is already in?
Oh yeah, well that's exactly what we're saying about the drivers making a fool of us. We're saying he's going to go halfway. He's going to stay out. He's going to have the back. No.
Yeah. Let me just go 5 minutes before the half of the race. So yeah, I'm. Well, maybe he's actually just listening to the broadcast and thinking, well, what did those guys know? I mean, a couple of rookies, or how does the SimGrid call it? Experienced rookies, or seasoned rookies. Yeah, that's the word the SimGrid uses. We're definitely seasoned rookies. So.
Oh, is that what? See, yeah, where most of the drivers have amateur, rookie, professional, whatever. Mine just says no comment. So I always wondered, but yeah, I think I'm getting the hint now. But certainly we're saying, there's Princey. It shows you how much it'll drop you down the order. Oh, and it's brought him right back out behind the McLaren there of Peters in 22nd position.
And let's see what Faulkner does if he comes in as well. Goes on for a lap, another lap.
He's missed the chicane. Yeah, and there we go, Princey. So he is. Oh, and he's a lap up on Peters as well. I was confused how he was behind Peters there, and Peters has already pitted. Oh, Pashatka just got himself a stop, go 32nd for speeding in the pit lane while taking his mandatory pit stop.
Yikes.
That is one word for it. The rest of them, unfortunately, unallowed at this time of night, unless you're on ESPN. We've got something, they've relaxed the rules slightly on ESPN these days. It's insane. Van Vielen, he's not relaxing up at the front. We're fast approaching the halfway mark of the race. Van Uyk's come into the pitch. He's got 15 seconds to serve in there. Van Vielen, 23 laps in, comfortably leading the way. Oh, look at the Brasalmi in the background again. The Lesmos really proving problematic for the Audi drivers this evening. The Lambos not struggling in the slightest. We'll see what Ethan Faulkner does as far as his pit stop goes. Does he stay out as long as possible? Is he going to go for a 50-50? Princey was right on the back of him, and he's managed to get out. He's very quickly got past the car ahead of him. Got another couple of back markers. He's going to make his way past as well. Beautifully done. Daniel's teammate, he just makes his way past there, of course. Very easily done there. Van Uyk in the pits. Martin on his way out the pits. We've got another couple of penalties going on. Oh, and Windy's been given a 5 second. That might get added to, actually. It comes in 5 second integers.
Yeah, Faulkner coming in.
And Faulkner has come in.
Let's see where he comes out in respect to Princey.
Oh, well, yeah, tell you what, if you want to stay on Faulkner, I'll stay on Princey.
Yeah, sure. Unfortunately, I seem to not have the livery loaded in, but we'll sort that out after the race.
Technology, Daniel. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing, said no one that works in the broadcasting or streaming industry. At all. So there we go, we've got. He is still stationary, and the Porsche is exiting Ascari. He's heading towards Parabolica. He's got himself a nice little bit of slipstream as well from the Ferrari. That's David Hill. Has just been given a 15-second penalty. Car 555, I recognise the number. Coming through Parabolica, and I tell you what, Princey might have got the job done here very convincingly as well. He's exiting Parabolica, and Faulkner is still stationary. Unless he's right at the end of his pit box, this is not even going to be close. Princey, I think, has got a world of an undercut done. He absolutely has.
Yeah, and let's look at those pit stop times. So 1 minute 4 seconds for the entire pit stop for Princey. 31 seconds stopped. Let's see what Faulkner did. It was 47 seconds that he stopped. That makes 1 minute 20 for the entire pit lane erlebnis. So yeah, huge gap. Not sure what went on there during that pit stop. Perhaps did he have? No, he didn't have any damage.
No.
So
perhaps Princey took on enough fuel to do the whole race and only changed tyres in his pit stop, and Faulkner took tyres and fuel.
That would be such an interesting choice. It would make Faulkner a bit quicker. The coming, well, of course, there's still half of the race to go. So we see Gibson has a yellow flag there. I think he went off the track just coming onto the. I was almost going to call it the Hanger Straight, but coming out of Ascari. So Piva makes his way past him, and a lot of flashing of the lights there going on. But yeah, let's look at those lap times for Faulkner.
Yeah, and see if there is any advantage. Well, actually, be interested to see Princey. Well, if Princey has done that, then he will now be quicker in the second half of the race than he was in the first, just by virtue of the fact that he's now carrying only half a tank of fuel. But yeah, for me, that's the only real thing, unless. No, surely Faulkner didn't miss his pit box. I'm just not believing that. Although he got a drive-through and then a stop-go last week, so
yeah,
he is absolutely, he's definitely human. But he's behind Best Billetov once again. So not only has he lost out on second to Princey, he is now behind Best Billetov as well, and by quite some margin, Daniel. So. What Best Billetov, I'm guessing, had a pit stop of 1 minute 4 seconds as well.
Had a pit stop of 1 minute 6.
1 minute 6, okay.
So 32 seconds he stood still. So yeah, I'm also looking at. I mean, that's for instance for Noel, who's currently in 12th position. Of course, having dropped 9 positions, as he had an excellent. Third place on the grid. He also did 50 seconds, so there's probably just a way of doing the pit stop there, as you say, probably taking on fuel, where I would suspect that Princey isn't doing that. But yeah, it's an interesting choice, because as you say, Princey is going to be quicker as well in the second part. So I'm not sure where the advantage of that would be. Of course, the advantage of that would be that. Sorry, completely stumbling over my words here. But Faulkner would have been quicker in the first part of the race, of course, since he was lighter than Princey. So if anything, he's going to be the gap is going to be bigger and bigger between Princey and Faulkner. As you can notice, my brain is slowly shutting down. Let's try to keep it working for another 42 minutes something.
Another 42 minutes. I know, this is the joys of being on the continent. It's now 9:30 at night for you?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so you even had to think about that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, conversion to English, and it's been a long day, lots of traffic, and there you go.
and trying to decipher what a Scotsman says at high speed.
Exactly.
So there's no end to Daniel Metztal.
Van Thiele also making his pit stop.
Yes.
So but he can take his time probably.
Oh yes, he can have a cup of tea and get the windscreen cleaned, no problem at all. Horvath, silver leader, comes in as well. So too David Hill, he's got 15 seconds to serve. Topa stays out, so the Mercedes will take the lead of the race. Van Thielen still stationary. Lindvar's come in as well. So yeah, very much a half and half race. That's the vast majority of the cars all been into the pits. Viken, Gavon's still in there. Viken back out 10 laps down. Sorry, he's just on his way out. This is on his outlap to Sora. and Matt's still to take pit stops. I'm stumbling over my words now. Thank you very much for passing it on, Daniel. Matt's in the Ferrari. He's already been in for penalties, and he's going to be back in for the mandatory stop, but that's the drivers up at the front of the grid back out, and Van Thielen has managed to get back out in second place, so it was only Topa that stayed out, that's got ahead of him. He's going to instantly retake the lead of the race, absolutely no problem whatsoever. Horvath has had a very good pit stop. In fact, not only was Faulkner a bit slow through the pits, look at Print. Oh no, okay, there we go. The timing board's updated. Horvath is still behind Prinzi. I was about to say Horvath has had an absolute worldie. He has had a very good pit stop though. We can see, or we will see him over the rear spoiler very shortly, just as Prinzi exits the Lesmos. There is Horvath entering them, so still comfortably got the lead in the silvers. Not quite on the podium overall, but that could become a reality when Matteo Topa for Team Ballas comes in to take his mandatory pit stop. 13 minutes left of the pit window, and Matteo is motoring on in the Mercedes. He's already done 28 laps, looking to put another one on the tyres. The Mercedes still, I mean, doesn't matter what the 1.9 update did to the rest of the field, the Mercedes still the king of the curbs, I can see. The Bentley not too far behind either, and there is Thielen not too far behind either. Just in the background there, the two curb munchers coming in to the second chicane, and Topa, given the amount of track that he's got clear ahead of him, Daniel, I don't really see him now being in too much of a rush to come into the pits. He can really make his own decision in the last 13 minutes of the pit window. Nobody in front to slow him down, so it really is just about when he wants to get these tyres changed. But still, as a decent stint the Mercedes has put in so far on a 30-degree track.
Yeah, absolutely. Last lap time was 1:49.4. His best was 1:48.4. So yeah, it's not the quickest. Of course, he did have a bit of traffic. We saw Daniel Thiele just in the Bentley, as I have Topa on screen still. So he did have a bit of traffic. But yeah, as you say, he can take his time. Looking at the weather, it's still grey clouds predicted for the coming half hour. So looks like we might keep dry weather for this one. But let's keep an eye on that one.
Yeah, sad times.
Yeah. This yeah, a huge disappointment.
Yeah, no, given the racing that we've seen so far, the weather would have been a nice little sprinkling on top of the cherry as well. But we've seen, certainly it's been action-packed for the stewards. Monza very much doing Monza things, and Van Thielen very much doing championship things. He's taken the fastest lap. He's got a massive lead over Prinzi. It was 10 seconds before they came into the pits. I believe it's now up to 12 seconds. Prinzi though, worldie of a pit stop. We're not sure what befell Faulkner, but he has fallen down the order. Now finds himself 5th place overall. He's got 4 seconds to find on Bespilatov, who he overtook in lap 4 or 5 right back at the start of the race. He's got 36 minutes to repeat that feat if he wants to find any more championship points coming his way before the end of the race. Windy has got another penalty, so he's picked that up after he's taken his pit stop, so that's 5 seconds that will be added at the end. He does have silver driver Piva just ahead of him in the Porsche. Piva had a penalty as well to serve in his pit stop. 15 seconds it was for the Porsche. And sorry, that's really stuttery, so that absolutely slowed me in my tracks there. Windy's not being slowed in his tracks. He's getting some slipstream from the Porsche. We were saying this as well last week, Daniel. This, all things aside with the ballast, it is good to see the Porsches not so massively outgunned in a straight line since the update and the new version. The old Porsche was, not much cop in a straight line at the high speed tracks. But the Porsches these days certainly more than capable of mixing it up at the front. You don't have to be a next level driver to compete up there. As we can see, Prinzi doing a great job at a track that is known for such high speed sections. The start finish straight is a classic example of that. But yeah, good to see the Porsches doing well.
Absolutely. Although I would still think, I've done a couple of laps in the Porsche. My numpty assessment would be that the Porsche still takes a bit of special handling. Amazing. In the right hands is still a very, very good car.
Actually, to be fair, it does take a special driver to extract the pace out of those things. But yeah, it is good to see that the pace is there to be extracted, and it's just bringing a great mix between that and the ballast. We're seeing a good mix of cars up at the front. Topaz still staying out, less than 10 minutes left of the pit window. Matza and Tesoro, both still out as well, looking to make it a very long opening stint here at the 90 minutes of Monza for round number 2, the DC-SimRacing GT3 World Sprint Series. And sorry, a bit of a giggle in my voice here because I was about to introduce the next track after this one. After the turn 1 fun of Monza, it is the mountain of Mount Panorama. We've got 60 minutes next time out, and that will be another 40-minute pit window in the middle of that race as well. And given how short the pit window is, it means as soon as one car comes into pits, we're going to have constant blue flag traffic. This one not run and done quite yet, Daniel. Still a lot can happen, as we've seen from the opening stint here at the race. But Mount Panorama next week, definitely going to be one to watch, given the battles that we've seen here and how closely matched for pace this field is right up and down through the order.
Yeah, one thing I do hope, I've seen Mount Panorama, or Panodrama as we've sometimes called it. I've seen some pretty nasty races going on there. With all the incidents that we've seen tonight, I hope that we're going to have a nice and clean race in 2 weeks' time. But absolutely looking forward to that one as well. With a nice full grid, hope we still get those 36 cars or more on the starting line there. It'll be interesting to see also how the championship is going to look after this race, with so much change compared to the last race. Of course, Bergman not having the best races or let's say he's having a difficult time with the Honda on this track. It's just one of the drivers falling back a bit. Of course, Prinzi and Vatila are still up there. Vernola had that incident there, dropping out of the top 10, but he is back. He's currently, let's see, P7? Yeah, he's in P7, so he did fight back.
Great little battle there going on. I think it looked like Miro lost it ever so slightly then. Yeah, on the exit to the Lesmos, both of them really pushing those track limits. Left-handed kink on the way into Ascari, and I'm not sure if Miro has a problem on the way in here, or the McLaren just absolutely outguns him. Ooh, and he thinks about it, and the McLaren really uses that inside curve, robs himself of all his momentum. The Ferrari hangs on to the position, goes round the outside, just about grips onto it, but Gibson does maintain the position for the moment. This is a gold and a silver that are having themselves a phenomenal. But as I say, the Sim Grid rating system definitely helping mix it up right through the field. Miro and Gibson 18th and 19th overall. Matteo Topa is still out with 5 minutes left of the pit window, so that's almost an hour he's done on the Mercedes, so he will have some very, very, very fresh tyres come the end of the race.
And John,
yes,
as you always say, the sun has put his hat on.
He has.
So no more grey clouds there.
Sad times.
Yeah, that was a huge waste of time.
I know, that's
still
it.
a great race, of course.
Toys out the pram, we're all going home, taking my ball, it's burst. But yeah, so the drive, and it's been I tell you what, we've had races here in DC where we've seen some phenomenal changes in the weather over the course of the race. We've seen track temperatures up, down, left, right, all over the place. This one, Daniel, I don't think I've ever seen a race in ACC ever of any length, even a 25-minute race, where the track temperature has stayed exactly the same for the entire race. Not so much as a 1 degree move either side. This whole 61 minutes so far, bang on 30 degrees. A little bit on the hot side for the tyres, but the drivers, as far as driving conditions go, there certainly won't be any complaints on that front from them tonight, I don't think.
Yeah, it's almost like a sort of test session where we manipulated the track temperatures, but yeah, knowing Menno, he did his thing correctly there, so I'm not sure what went on there, but yeah, it's interesting with the clouds coming up from, well, I think we start with sunny conditions, then we got a bit cloudy, and now the sun is back, so yeah, still 30 degrees, that's interesting there. Let's see, I'm looking at Miro, who's still pretty close to Gibson, and Bergman is now looking at Krediet. But as I said, not having the race of his life there, having a difficult time in the Honda. But, definitely checking out Alexander Krediet.
And here comes the last two drivers into the pits. Right on that, Tesoro comes in. He's going to take his pit stop, and here comes Mattia Topa. He was 20 seconds ahead of Van Thielen, who's already making his way out of Parabolica, so he will retake the lead of the race. Prinzi will of course hold on to second. Will Horvath get himself up to third place? I think he might actually, given... Oh no, of course Faulkner spent quite a while in the pits. Oh, he's caught right back up to Wegman there. He's about to put another lap up on the Silver Championship leader, who certainly will be leading after this one. He's dropped right down the order. Topa is already on his way out. Bespilatov has gone past. Ethan Faulkner has just got past as well, so Topa is going to come back out. 6th position, yes indeed.
Really quick stop there, 20 seconds. Of course, didn't have to take all that much fuel.
Is 20 seconds long enough to take tyres?
I don't think so. I think you need at least 25.
Is it not 30 seconds?
Yeah, Menno. If Menno has time, because he's probably very busy with incidents, but Menno definitely knows that sort of stuff. But yeah, so if you can come in the chat, of course, that would be great. But speaking of the chat, didn't give a lot of attention to it tonight, but we have Benny Paul saying go gentle. Johan Houben. Sorry, I forgot how to pronounce your name there.
Johan Houben.
Houben, yeah. So he says success, Kurt Peters and Tim Miro. Oh yeah, Benny Paulus says 30 seconds, yeah.
So yeah, not only did they not go for the half and half strategy as much as we thought, there was a couple of, most of the drivers did, but it looks like Matteo's thrown caution absolutely to the wind. He's gained 10 to 15 seconds by not taking tyres. How much time is that going to cost them in the closing stint? 90 minutes on one set of tyres. That's going to be an interesting closing 15-20 minutes for Topa, and we're 5 minutes away from reaching and breaching that barrier. We'll see how his lap times compare. That is his first out lap, but he was in the low 1 minute 48s earlier on in the race, and we can get a comparable lap time given that the track conditions are exactly the same as they were at the start of the race. So we'll see how much time, if any, Topa loses on worn tyres. But that, for me, Daniel, is a very interesting and brave strategy. That's a good 20 minutes over, 15-20 minutes over recommended usage on one set of tyres. But Topa, certainly, if he brings this one home, he finds himself with a 5th place and a very good finish. But I mean, he's going to be hanging on in there, surely.
Yeah, absolutely. And well, Vernol is now 11 seconds behind him. So yeah, let's see what happens there, and if you can keep that gap up. And yeah, of course, I have to keep track of his lap times there. But, yeah, it's a choice, and I'm thinking, were there perhaps other drivers that skipped the tire change? But I don't think there were. So we would see, we would definitely see that reflected in the pit stop time. I think, yeah, it looks like Topa is definitely the only one going for that strategy. But yeah, let's see how it works out for him. He did start in 10th position, so he made up 4 positions. Well, I'm not going to say whatever happens, so because he still has to finish this race. But yeah, maybe that's the reason he doesn't want to risk getting back all the way back to the 10th position. Maybe he just wants to take a bit of a gamble, see if he can keep hold of this position.
Yeah. Confirmation in the chat from Menno, tyres do take 30 seconds, so he is on the same set of boots, and he's just done a 1 minute 49.2, 8/10 slower than his personal best so far, and 1.2 seconds slower than Luca Vernol. And that gap now down to 9.7 seconds. So he really does need to find some pace over the closing stages if he's going to hold on. But I mean, even if Vernol does catch him, that won't lose him any points in the championship, because Vernol is in the silvers, who's rechasing. So he's got a comfortable gap then over David Hill. So unless, I mean, his tyres, you're right, he's got 22 minutes to go, he's got to get to the end of the race. His tyres could easily fall off a cliff. And if they do, you'd be amazed how quick a 15-second gap can drop.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I've experienced that at Laguna Seca. I tried to do a full. I think this was the 1.7 update on console, and yeah, tried to do. I think it was definitely over an hour and a half on one set of tyres at Laguna Seca, and I lost 5 or 6 positions in the closing 3 laps.
Wow. Yeah, that's something that I wouldn't even attempt probably, but
yeah, the opening stint was some of the most enjoyable driving I've ever been involved in sim racing. The closing 5 laps were the absolute stuff of nightmares. I was hanging on for dear life. Not fun at all.
Yeah, no, it doesn't sound like a very comfortable experience there.
No.
And also Laguna Seca is not an easy track, even with fresh tires. So. Yeah,
it's an interesting one. Yeah, the corkscrew really will spin you right round, baby, right round. Brasalmi, he's been fairly spun round this race as well, dropping down the order. He was a contender last time out. Down to 25th overall, so just on the periphery of the top 10 in the silvers. We've seen a couple of Audis struggle here this evening. Langenbaum's managed to recover though, 11th overall, back to where he started, so not too bad a display at all from Langenbaum, but Brasalmi certainly struggling this time out, and it's Martin's one of the gold drivers that he's got ahead of him. They've got 20 minutes for these two to duke it out. The aforementioned Langenbaum though, that's Van Thielen, this is Langenbaum. Third, still in the silvers, but a great drive nonetheless. We've seen his Audi as well get a bit lively in the back end. It is safe to say, but he's put that firmly behind
John,
him.
Let's look at Faulkner. He's overtaking Bespilatov.
Oh, once again, yes, he is indeed, side by side into turn number 1. Bespilatov looking to make it as difficult as possible. Faulkner realising that couldn't carry enough momentum through, but he is certainly knocking on that door. We can see just how much slipstream he had coming out of Parabolica. So yeah, definitely a good shout that the overtake was on, and maybe didn't quite get enough slipstream there. He was out a bit early, but they are full side by side, so full respect to both drivers here. As Bespilatov, as you can see, comes over to try and get as much of the corner as he can. Faulkner right out on the outside, has to go full stationary just to make sure he gets the car rotated, but Bespilatov will certainly be feeling the pressure in these closing stages. It is for a podium position, so Bespilatov will definitely be putting his best foot forward in his pursuit of that podium in the closing 18 minutes, but it is Faulkner who is absolutely hunting him down. Windy back in the pits there, Daniel, down in 16th position. Can you jump on? I'll stay on board with this battle if you want to jump. Is he carrying damage?
Let's see, Windy. I'm gonna also check, because he made up a good 9 positions. Let's see what went on there, and let's see how long he stays in the pit. He's stopped for 30 seconds now. Pit stop is not over yet. Let's see, he's at a bit of contact here. Perhaps 27. If anything happened to him, it must have been a one-sided incident. 50 seconds now. Yeah, he's already 55 seconds stationary. And yeah, it looks like he returned to pits as well, because the time in the pit and the time stopped are equal to one another. So he returned to the pit. So yeah, maybe made a mistake there. Looks to be a one-sided incident there that he had. So
right, okay.
It's quite amazing, because he was, as I say, he was driving in 16th position. I think he made up 9 positions from the start, so I would say he was still doing pretty well. But, yeah, decided to return to the pit.
Oh, there we go, the track temperature has gone up, but yeah, return to the pits. Wegman in the pits as well. So the damage limitation not going well for the Honda driver. He is in the pits as well. Ivanyuk all over the back of Langenbaum still. Faulkner and Bespilatov. As soon as we jump onto the other battle, these two get within a tenth. Oh, and Faulkner's past him. Faulkner is past him, so let's have a look at this. On the exit to the Lesmos, Bespilatov past the left-handed kink, and Faulkner, if he's got this done through Ascari, that's going to be a very, very, very good move, which wouldn't be a surprise. He positions himself on the outside. He's not going to be close in the braking zone. Bespilatov, oh, really over that inside curve. That's opened up the door, and he has got that done through Ascari, and that is a phenomenal move, Daniel. And I don't know why I sound so surprised, but Ethan Faulkner once again showing the class that he's got there. The door was left open by Bespilatov, and Faulkner absolutely hooks it up through Ascari and gets himself back on the podium.
Yeah, awesome move there by Faulkner. I was in the meantime looking at Thiele and was it Piva? Yeah, it was Piva he was battling with, but looks like Piva lost it there. Can I still get a replay of that? Yeah, it's already too late. So the second chicane there, he lost it there, unfortunately. So, but there was some good battling going on with Daniel Thiele, who's currently in the 14th position. So I think he also made a good of 13 positions from the start as Daniel Thiele, starting from P27. So yeah, excellent race there from Daniel. Piva himself made up 11 positions. So definitely these guys are having a solid race, I would say.
Sorry, I was on mute there momentarily. I was just checking on those lap times, of course. We were talking the fact that Topa did not take tyres during the pit window. And in fact, looks like he's got a bit of damage on his front splitter. But the point of where it was going with that one is Topa is lap on lap 1 second a lap slower than Vernol behind him in the silvers, and exactly a second on the last lap. Topa at 1:49.0 and Vernol 1:48.0, exactly a second separating them, and it looks like it's going to be exactly the same on this lap. The gap already down to 4 seconds. And Topa's just done a 49.4. Vernol with a 48.1, so 1.3 seconds quicker he was. That gap is dropping, and Topa's decision not to take tyres could see him lose an overall position. He's got 13 minutes, and David Hill is now only 16 seconds behind. And I say only 16, which normally would be a lifetime, but if your tyres are dropping off at this rate, and I can confirm that David Hill is matching Vernol lap for... Oh, bit of net code there. I just saw the Mercedes sink underground. I thought he'd disconnected, but nope. Oh no, the camera, please, he's still in, isn't he? Oh, yep, okay. Yeah, Topa's still in, Vernol. And yeah, there we go, David Hill is matching Vernol lap for lap. And he's which means he is catching Topa about 1 second a lap. He's 16. Oh, he's going to. If he keeps this up, he can get to within 3 seconds. And if Topa loses any more pace with tyre degradation, that final 3 seconds that Hill needs to find could be handed his way very, very, very quickly indeed. So will Topa live to rue the decision to put the tyres on? It's now the McLaren of Vernol that's getting slipstream from one of the back markers, so he's going to get even closer over this lap. That is Credy who is gifting the slipstream, and the McLaren goes up that inside line, so it's going to cost him a little bit of momentum, but I'm curiously going to keep an eye. And Topa then trying to respond. He's just done a 48.7, but Vernol with a 47.7, only a 10 slower than his fastest personal lap of the race. And David Hill, I think he's pushed it a bit hard. He's gone half a second quicker than Topa on that last lap, but he has lost a lot of time to Vernol. He hasn't lost time to Vernol there. 47.7 in the closing stages of the race. That extra 1 degree of track temperature seems to be look at Vernol's hunting ground. He's got 11 minutes left to go. He's got 2.5 seconds to make up to Topa. Again, it won't be an improvement in position. It won't give him any more points, but it certainly will get him ahead of Topa overall and get him 6th overall, which would be a phenomenal finish. I love to see it, Daniel. As you say, a solid grid right through. The qualifying was very close. We saw 3 silvers start inside the top 10, one of them in the top 11, sorry, and one of them starting in 3rd. We're going to see 3 of them finish in the top 11 potentially, and one of them finishing in 3rd. So it just again goes to show how closely matched the entire grid is, and what a phenomenal season we've still got ahead of us with the track still to come.
Yeah, absolutely. The tracks and the ballast there's different characteristics combined with that ballast. Yeah, that's going to give us plenty of interesting situations, as they already have so far this season. So yeah, plenty to see there.
Yeah, still plenty to come. Yeah, I'm Sorry, I'm just messing about with some wires.
Looking at, yeah, my camera's on Ivanjuk, not too far from Langenbaan. So let me just get a different camera view, because John is also looking at that battle. Ivanjuk ever so slowly coming up to Langenbaan, and ooh, there's contact there. That's
wow, they merged.
Yeah, that looked interesting.
Yes, okay, so they did merge there, so I think there was netcode involved in that contact. Oh, and it was Langenbaum on the exit to Ascari who dropped the pace, so that is why the Lamborghini was able to close up so impressively. But I do fear there was a bit of netcode involved, because we did see two very much become one. The Lambo tried to get it done up the end. Okay.
That's, wow. Interesting.
Again, that is one word for it, Daniel. The others we cannot use this time of night. But yeah, that is a very strange one there. So even more reason for us as commentators not to pass judgment on what we just saw. We'll let the stewards and Kunos answer for that one. Jentel van Vielen. We've got a lot to answer for there, I think, Daniel. He's been on camera for a quarter of a lap and half of his pit stop so far, but he's absolutely checked out over the front. Jentel van Vielen in the Lamborghini. He's taken the fastest lap of the race, and he has led for the vast majority. Only Topa, of course, ahead of him by virtue of the pit window. But to say that Van Vielen has almost lost it on the exit to the Lesmos there live on camera. Goodness me, curse of the commentator almost kicking in with 8 to go. Yeah, Daniel, give us a quick summation of Van Vielen's awesome drive so far, and then we'll watch someone else just in case.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah,
there we go.
What makes me happy as we see someone going out of the way there, well, pretty good, I would say. Very effective. Yeah, I mean, it's so good to see that, of course, Princie being the winner in that first race. It's good to see that Van Thiele just takes the championship battle up there, and yeah, still 3 races to see yeah, what's going to happen. That makes me happy. So yeah, amazing drive, and we're definitely going to have to give him a lot of attention for that last lap to yeah. Of course, I'm sure he has the motivation to win, whether or not we get him on the broadcast. But yeah, definitely deserves a bit of airtime there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been an absolute masterful drive. He's got the pit strategy absolutely spot on, and lap after lap. I mean, that lap there, we're coming to the closing stages, 1 minute 47.7, so within 2/10 of a second of the fastest lap of the race, which he himself has set. Easy for me to say. For Noel and Topa. Now, 15-second penalty for car 44 of Vanjuk. So the stewards still working hard, just like Topa is going to have to do, and it is the law of diminishing returns here for Topa. He's on a set of tyres with far more degradation than his opponent, who has closed in magnificently since Topa exited the pits. Topa now, does he go full defensive mode, which compromises the tyres even more, or does he just let Vernol through? It is a bit of a tough one here. For obviously, Daniel, for you and I, it would be a simple case of if we're in Topa's shoes. Let Vernol through, we're losing the lap time hand over fist. But Topa is an esports driver who is in it to win it. Not only does every place count, he's not going to be keen on letting a silver pass in the closing stages. One ahead of him, I'm sure, is more than enough, but Vernol's got pace. This is going to be an interesting one here, Daniel.
Yeah, absolutely. He's definitely not going to give anything away. And good defending line, but could Vernol go? No, not going to the outside there. But yeah, that's not something that Topa would let happen all that easy. But yeah, good defending line there, and So much time still left in the race for him, but yeah, suddenly the gap is almost a second, which seems like a huge gap. But Fernald is going to close that pretty quickly. We see in the replay there that yeah, Fernald just chose to go wide there, or should I say that he chose to go wide there? I'm not sure, but it didn't go for the contact.
There was the potential there was an escort.
Yeah.
Shall we say. He wasn't quite showing the door, but it was certainly, I'd imagine it was a slamming sound as he walked out the door. Don't turn around now, you're not welcome anymore.
Exactly.
Two songs of poetry. I'm on fire.
Nice. Very good, very good.
Horvath as well finds himself in 4th position overall, as Ethan Vaught did say we're going to see potentially a silver finish on the podium overall. Ethan Faulkner has got himself some different ideas on that one. He spent a while in the pits. He got 3rd place in the gold class, and he's now got himself back up to 3rd place overall at the expense of Horvath. Bespilatov still in 4th overall, 4th in gold, 5th overall. Topa still just hanging on to that 5th position in class again. 6th overall. Vernol has closed up despite that mistake in Ascari, or off-track excursion in Ascari on the last lap. We can see Topa furiously
he's flashing there. He does not want those cars ahead of him getting involved in this battle. Just move aside and let me do my thing for those last couple of minutes, because it's going to be tense enough as it is. But yeah, I can imagine that. And I mean, they're still pretty far away from him, but yeah, look at all that flashing.
Yeah,
please get.
Oh, because he's got a McLaren around the outside potentially. The McLaren is going to be better on the brakes because of the tyres. Oh, and the McLaren again into turn number 1.
Yeah.
Oh, we've got an Aston Martin that's Cambrai, I believe, just gone off track, so he's going to stay out of the way. They've got the Ferrari ahead, and you say that he's not too, seems a bit far behind to be flashing the lights. He'll of course be trying to get out with the dirty air and out of the slipstream. His tyres, we know, are the same tyres he's had for the entire race. That's an hour and 27 minutes he's done so far. There's Ferrari just getting himself off track and out of the ways. Vernol looks to gather up everything he can for the last 2.5 minutes. He had 6 minutes left on the race clock when he got onto the rear spoiler of the Merc. We're now 4 minutes down the line, and he hasn't been able to secure that overtake. The McLaren's got half that time to get it done, and it does. He is getting close. Can he get it done? No, but Topa can definitely defend. Can he do it on those tyres once again into Ascari? They're going to go side by side. Is the McLaren going to be able to take the outside line and then the inside on the way through? He's not. Slight contact again. Topa full defensive mode despite that tyre degradation, Daniel. He is absolutely looking to hang on to 6th overall here.
Absolutely. I mean, I always love, I'm a sucker for those sort of defending lines. That's that's really, well, top-notch racing. I mean, any fool can, well, not any fool, we're definitely the fools that can't, but I was going to say any fool can hot lap. But yeah, this is really skillful racing. Those defending lines is, I mean, because as you say, we saw him with a 12-second gap coming down really quickly, and now it's been 2, 3, 4 laps where Vernol is still behind. Oh, contact! He won't want to win it that way, but it's not over yet. But Topa, not sure if Vernol is maybe backing off a bit because of that contact. I'm sure he did not mean to do that, so probably sort of neutralize the situation and starting again from about this point. So yeah, but exactly, John. Amazing defending so far. It's been, laps and laps and laps, and it's still going on. So.
Indeed, because as you say, he was losing that. The gap dropped by 1 second per lap. So that is a much more pace Vernol got. Vernol has 1 second a lap more pace than Topa at the minute, and Topa still managing to keep him in his rear view mirror. Can he do so? This is going to be the final lap for these two, again side by side into Ascari. The McLaren looking to take a different line through there and get the job done. Can't get it done this time around, after saying that we'd get the race leader for the entire final lap. We've got an unbelievable battle that is brewing. They're coming into Parabolica once again, the Mercedes and the McLaren duking it out. This is going to be a fun one. Into turn 1 to start their last lap. Van Thielen is into the Lesmos, absolute dominance up at the front. Prinzi in second and Faulkner in third. Horvath comfortably leading the way for the Silvers, the one-time silver leader, and took silver pole. Oh, he's going to have a look at turn number 1. This has got to be forbidden chase cam here, just to see how close they get. He's opened up the corner. Oh, and he's missed his brakes. The Mercedes. No, yeah, he's not going to want to take the position that way, so he's going to give it straight back again. So yeah, undone by the tyres, Daniel. I did say they could fall off a cliff at any minute, and that minute was the last one of the race, unfortunately.
Yeah, but what a battle. I mean, yeah, I'm a fan. That was amazing racing by Topa. Yeah, it was, can we still call it a gamble? I mean, he almost made it work, so it was just that last... well, what we just saw, going straight there in the chicane, but he did the right thing to give that position back. To see Van Thielen taking his win there. Nice job there.
Yeah, phenomenal win, and not letting off the pace. His last lap of the race was a 1 minute 47.7, only 2/10 off his slowest lap. That is an absolute dominant performance we've just seen from Jentel Van Thielen. Congratulations to the Lambo driver. Even with my incessant filling, we still only see Prinzi coming out of the last corner. That is the type of gap that Van Thielen had there. 31 seconds. Not too bad at all. The Porsche driver, though, coming home with a comfortable second place. Ethan Faulkner brings it home after a couple of mistakes last week in the pit stops and the track limits. Finds himself on the podium, and it's Tobias Horvath who wins in the Silvers. Best Pilot off comes home in fourth. Vernol does finish second in the Silvers, sixth overall, and it's Topa with the tyre gamble gets himself up to fifth position in the golds. Lientvar and Fedotov both coming across the line. Fedotov with a 5-second penalty, but he will stay ahead. David Hill, who's in 10th, 14 seconds down the road. It's going to be Langenbaum back-to-back podiums. We'll see the Audi driver potentially take the lead in the Silvers. We'll get confirmation of that, of course, at the start of the next race. A Van Uck behind him. Koch, Thielen, Piva, Stanley are all being given the checkered flag. So too Gibson, Miro, Credy, Canberra. Martins will be given the checkered flag very shortly indeed. NTS parked up at the side of the road. His race well and truly finished. Van Thielen, though, doing a victory lap. Monza never ever disappoints, Daniel. The race leader got the bit between his teeth and ran off with that. Everyone else really had to put in a shift for that one. Congratulations to Van Thielen and Horvath for both bringing home their wins in class.
Yeah, amazing drive. And Menno, by the way, confirming in the chat that it's been a hectic night in the stewarding room. Yeah, lots of things going on there. But yeah, good job, Menno. That you were not in an enviable position tonight. But and Johan Hoeven also says thank you for the stream. Well, you're very welcome, of course. But yeah, some amazing racing tonight. That last battle was especially enjoyable to watch.
Oh, it was, yeah, enjoyable battles right through the field, as you say there, and there's confirmation of the results. It's Horvath, Vernol and Langenbaum taking the podium in the Silvers. Koch, Thielen, Stamley are 4th, 5th and 6th. Piva and Miro making it inside the top 10 ahead of Credy and Brisalmi in 10th position. Posadzka, despite multiple trips into the pits, finished in 11th, and Teus in 12th, and Matza in 13th position. Tesora also making the checkered flag. Gomier, 35 laps completed, 15 down on the leader, but still saw the checkered flag. And in the goals, it was absolute gold stars for 50 laps for Jentel van Thielen. Despite the 20 kilogram handicap, the Lambo driver found his way all the way to the top spot in both qualifying and in the race. Prinzi on the podium once again in second, Faulkner in third, Bespilatov in fourth, Topa coming home in fifth, it was Lienvar in sixth, Fedotov in seventh, Hill in eighth, Vanyuk ninth, and Gibson rounding out the top 10 for the golds. Cambrai finishing in 11th ahead of Martins and Peters. Top 13 there in the golds, and that was all 13 of the drivers that finished in the golds. What a race that was. We had Circuit of the Track Limits last week, and it was Circuit of the Turn 1s this week. Next week, it's the mountain. Oh yes it is, that's right, 60 minutes at Bathurst still to come. Then of course Silverstone and Kyalami to round out the season. The pit window, the strategies have come into play over the opening two races. No reason to think that won't continue for the rest of the season, Daniel. But with the race that we've just seen and the tracks that we've got coming up, excitement levels absolutely through the roof.
Yeah, it's really, in terms of a championship battle, it's not going to get any better. I forgot to mention, by the way, that the fastest lap is also worth 2 points. So Princey got that last time as well, because he's on 57 points now. And that's also the score that Gentle will get tonight, because if I'm not mistaken, he has the quickest lap tonight as well. So yeah, it's really open for the rest of this season, John.
Yeah, it really is absolutely wide open. It's going to be interesting to see the overall championship as well, because we do have that running, as mentioned at the start. There's standings that the drivers in the gold and silver receive on a third championship, if you like. So we've got the silver standings, the gold standings, and then the drivers from each, based on their finishing position in the standings, get points towards the overall total. So that very much in play as well. And also, Daniel, again, one more quick mention, of course, or not even a quick mention, let's give it a full mention. The Race for Wishes, 2nd and 3rd of December. Get yourselves on SimGrid and get signed up. A phenomenal charity again, Daniel. Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be fun. Raising money is important to charity. It means a lot to all of us, of course. The Make-A-Wish Foundation. Just important to get families some relief in very difficult times for them. But of course, it's also about fun for us. Let's combine those two things. And if you can get a team together, create a team, raise money, get involved, even if you're just in the chat during that broadcast, I'm sure we're going to have a great time. We had a fantastic time last year, and be very welcome to get involved in whatever way you can. It's going to be great.
Yes, indeed, I'll be there. We'll have some of the commentary team there as well. We'll get as much coverage brought to you as we can, and we'll see many funny outfits on as well. So yeah,
might have to get a black dress.
Yeah, we'll have Daniel in full Wither Girl outfit. Of course, Wither person. Sorry, get myself into trouble. Here comes cancel culture. I think even saying that can get you cancelled.
Who knows? Let's see.
Let's find
out. I hope it's still available for the for second and third episode.
Yeah, suddenly completely deleted. But no, thank you to everyone that's joined in the chat. As Daniel said, we hardly had a chance to talk to the chat this evening with everything, as you can see from the highlights, that we had going on. But thank you to everyone in there this evening. Thank you to Menno and the stewards. Those pencils will have been sharpened several times this evening, I'd imagine. That is racing though. It is a non-contact sport, much like football and basketball, but we do see a fair bit of it. But the drivers all, I'm sure, having an absolute ball. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Jump on board, hit the subscribe, get into Discord as well, get involved in the racing, and give the host page a follow on SimGrid. You can keep up to date with all the racing action that DC-SimRacing are bringing your way, and of course you can go back and watch the previous races that they've held here, the road to the grand finals. Zandvoort, we mentioned a couple of times, 100,000,000%. It is time well spent watching those races. In fact, I think I know what I'm doing tonight when I'm eating my pizza.
Yeah.
So that'll be the plan. So make sure you do that. And yeah, Daniel, quick summation of the evening. I'm sure a few thank yous you want to throw out as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And by the way, we also have a couple of prologues coming up for the Race for Wishes event. So next one is coming Monday. So sign up for that as well. Yeah, and as you say, huge thank you for everyone involved in this one again. Of course, Menno and the rest of the team spending all their times, and everyone in the chat as well, everyone viewing, and the great racing tonight. So. And of course, a good evening from my side as well.
Indeed, yes, some phenomenal racing, just like race 1, round number 3 at Bathurst. Yes, indeed. I know.
In 2 weeks, 2 weeks time, by the way.
Oh, 2 weeks, of course it is. Yeah, 2 weeks between the races. Yes. So you'd think I was on that many different calendars, I couldn't keep track of them all. But anyway, moving smooth.
John is a busy man. He's a prolific commentator.
Prolific, that's the one.
Yeah, oh, you forgot the word.
I did forget. That's been racking my brain all night. I could not remember what it was. Hence all the snooker jokes, because I couldn't remember prolific. But I am going to write that down on the wall in crayon. I'm not allowed pencils unsupervised, so I'll pop that on the wall in crayon for next week. And I'll make sure that's there. But yeah, thank you to everyone for watching this evening. We'll leave you with the closing highlights as always. Please enjoy, and yeah, hit that subscribe button and go back and watch the videos. My name has been John Wright, aka Double O Raven, and with a good night from Mr. Daniel Metz.
Good night, everybody. Thank you.
And it is a good night from me. Stay safe, take it easy, and have a great rest of your night. Good night.